Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Kickin' Bass TV. Today we're in the bait shop looking at a new craw mold from Epic Bait Molds. We're going to start with the unboxing, then we'll talk about the details, give you a look at the mold up close, then we'll run a few colors through it so you can see what it looks like. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's go. Alright guys, today we got a really cool new mold to show you from our friends Jason and Amanda at Epic Bait Molds. As always, everything from Epic comes well packaged, clean, ready to shoot right out of the box, which is nice. You don't have to take extra time to deep clean your mold, hit it with an air compressor. So today, we're going to be taking a look at the 3.4-inch Glory Craw, available in both a 3 or 6 cavity version. Today we've got the 6 cavity version, which measures roughly 7.5 by 6 and is made of course of CNC machined aluminum. It's a single top port injection mold with the back and belly indicator, the Epic Bait Mold logo, as well as the name of the mold etched on both sides. As you open up the mold, you'll notice for the most part it is a symmetrical bait, meaning that the tail portion, the legs, the claws, and the antenna are all evenly distributed on both sides. However, the belly or bottom of the bait has a flat surface with a tight rib texture, giving it a little added character, whereas the top or back of the bait has a round surface, making for a little bigger body cavity, definitely making for some interesting laminates and giving it a really cool overall look and feel. First thing we wanted to test was how well the mold would laminate. So on the left, we've got a cup of ecto green without any flake in it. On the right, we've got some chartreuse with some black flake. What this is going to do, it's going to make it easier for me to determine whether or not there's any bleed occurring in my laminates, meaning that if the flake bleeds into that bottom ecto green color, then if I know I have my plastic temps and my mold's preheated, and it really just comes down to either a venting issue or something as minor as that asymmetrical body cavity design, which can lead to that issue as well. But as you can see, none of that black flake made its way into that bottom color whatsoever, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So that tells me that the mold is properly vented and is going to produce consistent laminates. After that, I decided to mix up another one of my favorite laminate colors, which is my take on an Alabama Craw, which is basically orange and green pumpkin. But with mine, I tend to add a little bit of brown pigment to the green pumpkin, dirty it up a little bit, give it more of a natural earth tone. A lot of the craw in the late spring are still primarily brown and green earth tones until the beginning of summer, when they start to develop their orange and red pigment, which is one of the reasons why Alabama Craw is such a sought after color in the bass fishing community, especially this time of season. And if you leave enough transparency between the two colors so that they can play off of one another, you get some really cool light play, really cool effects that end up looking pretty natural, whether you laminate them or you decide to swirl them with the C-block. Last but not least, we've got a nice bright transparent cherry red with some black flake in there for texture and just a touch of gold metallic color shift powder pigment. What that's going to do is just give it some added flash when the light plays through that transparency of the bait. And the reason why this is one of my favorite go-to colors regardless of the time of season, because when you're having trouble triggering a bite from a bass, whether it's because it's cold weather and it's lethargic, or it's bedding down and just isn't as aggressive, talked about in previous videos how the cone in the eye of the bass allow them to see red and green more than any other color on the spectrum, which is why it's one of my go-to colors, hard baits or soft plastics, and it's great for triggering a bite with particularly finicky bass. When it comes to rigging these up, you can honestly do it any way you want, but I prefer to Texas rig them either with a standard EWG hook like you see here, or if you want to get even more life out of your plastics, you can use a hook with a screw lock bait keeper, and that's going to hold more securely in the body cavity and tear through the plastic a lot less frequently. Now, I tend to run mine in what they call Tex exposed, which basically means that you leave the hook exposed out of the back of the bait for a better hookup ratio. If you do that, you'll like this bait because that indentation creates kind of a valley for your hook to rest in. You can also throw it on a standard Ned rig for an exposed hook presentation. This is a great setup for bed fishing, or you can use it as a trailer bait for your favorite jig or chatterbait, whether full body or half. We ended up running a bunch of different colors through the mold, and honestly, I liked every every single one of them. It's just a really cool design. I particularly like the look of the claws and the arms themselves, which I think gives it a unique appearance that helps set it apart from all the other craw molds on the market. And with all those legs and appendages, it's definitely going to have a killer action underwater. It's going to be something that we look forward to catching bass on pretty much year round. If you want to pick up one of these awesome molds for yourself, head to epicbaitmolds.com today or simply click the link in the video description below.
Subscribe!